Welcome to us.
My son's birthday dinner was supposed to be a celebration. 30 guests filled the dining room. Laughter echoed through the house. Then, in front of everyone, my daughter-in-law looked at my wife and said the words that changed our family forever. "Get out of my house!" No one spoke, not even my son. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply stood up, took my wife's hand, and said one sentence. Seconds later, every single guest at that table slowly pushed back their chairs and stood up too. That was the moment everything fell apart for the people who thought kindness was weakness. The invitation had arrived 2 weeks earlier. My son insisted we celebrate his birthday at the house he proudly called his own. My wife baked his favorite cake, wrapped a thoughtful gift, and spent hours choosing a dress because she wanted to look nice for her only child. When we arrived, the house was already full. Friends, coworkers, neighbors, and relatives laughed around the dining table. Everything looked perfect on the surface. During dinner, my wife quietly stood up to help clear a few empty plates. Before she could touch anything, my daughter-in-law snapped, "Don't touch anything. This is my house. If you don't like how I do things, you can leave." The room became silent. My wife apologized even though she had done nothing wrong. Then came the words that stunned everyone. "I said, get out of my house." I looked toward my son, expecting him to defend the woman who had sacrificed everything to raise him. Instead, he stared down at his plate. That hurt more than the insult. I stood, reached for my wife's trembling hand, and calmly said, "If the woman who built this family isn't welcome here, then neither are we." I thanked everyone for the invitation, wished my son a happy birthday, and walked toward the front door with my wife. Something unexpected happened. One chair scraped the floor, then another. One by one, the guests stood up. My son's closest friends walked out. His aunt followed, then his uncle. Even two of his coworkers quietly placed their napkins on the table and left without saying a word. Within 2 minutes, the dining room that had been full of laughter was nearly empty. No shouting, no drama, just silence. The following morning, our phones exploded with messages. Guests apologized for staying quiet. Several admitted they had never witnessed such disrespect toward parents. One even wrote, "Your dignity taught everyone at that table a lesson they'll never forget." 3 days later, my son knocked on our front door. His eyes were red. He admitted he had been afraid of upsetting his wife, but in trying to avoid conflict, he had betrayed the people who loved him first. He apologized to his mother through tears. My wife hugged him immediately. A mother's heart often forgives long before the apology arrives. Weeks later, my daughter-in-law finally came as well. For the first time, she wasn't angry. She admitted pride had blinded her and that watching an entire room chose respect over comfort forced her to confront the person she had become. Forgiveness wasn't instant. Trust had to be rebuilt one conversation at a time. But everyone finally understood one truth. A family isn't held together by a beautiful house. It's held together by respect. That birthday wasn't remembered for the cake, the gifts, or the decorations. It became the day 30 people witnessed the real meaning of family. Respect is something money cannot buy. The loudest victory isn't won through shouting. Sometimes it's won by quietly standing beside the person who stood beside you your entire life. If this story reminded you that parents deserve honor, no matter where they are, share it with someone who still believes respect should never go out of style.